And the breaking news this afternoon is the medical has been passed. The big 6'2" defender has passed his medical and he will be on his way to Celtic as a Celtic player next week. But before we talk about him and we'll give you some details about him, we'll talk about what the manager said about the trip to Japan and what Matt O'Reilly also said. Matt O'Reilly said it's basically been a good test for us. Both teams that we have played have been good football and they made it difficult for us. I've got to say, the game the other night on Wednesday, I think they were a far superior team and there was a few really good players there. This team today were really well organised also. Matt O'Reilly said it was quite unique playing against other teams that have built up their fitness, so that was quite a challenge. Their fitness levels are quite high and they're halfway through their season, says Matt O'Reilly. From a structural point of view, it was good cohesion, it was tough going, but it helped us going into the season. Regardless of both teams having a lot of chances, it was solid defensively, and you've got to say, they were totally matching our runs today. There was a couple of runs that we made and their players were right up for it and the pace of them was really good. It was a good exercise and that's what this game will go down as. It will go down just as an exercise to see what players there were. Matt O'Reilly was obviously speaking on Celtic TV and he says that it was cool to get the amount of fans that we do worldwide. He said you can't underestimate the size of Celtic Football Club. It really shows, especially on the other side of the world. We had a team that we were on our team walk going along the river and there was a ferry full of Celtic fans singing and shocked, and they were singing at the same time, and at the same time he wasn't shocked. He says because, you know, when you see Celtic fans, they are out there enjoying themselves. Talking about managers, he says, I'm very lucky to have had good managers in a short space of time at my young age. The gaffer here, talking about Brendan Rodgers, is especially good at communicating, I can't even say it, communicating and getting his point across, concise for us all, so it makes it easier to transition on the pitch. Now, the media are going to pick this up again, and there is this, I seen a thing where Ange Postecoglou was defending his management style. Who cares? It's like the player is just, he's in a happy place, and the media are going to twist this in all mannerisms to try and say it's a dig at Ange Postecoglou, but you know, it's not. It's just two different styles. He's a young guy talking about the different styles of management. He also goes on to say, being able to have this relationship where you can speak to him and learn new things consistently in an open environment is very enjoyable. Tell me what you think about that in the comments and make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Well, what was the manager saying about the game today? He's obviously said that it was very positive, the trip to Japan. Says even if the game didn't bring late goals, Brendan Rodgers would have been happy at the Panasonic Stadium. Man, that's taking it to the different level completely. He also spoke on Celtic TV and he says it was a really good game for us. I thought we stepped up our level again. In the first half we had some really good passages of play, and at moments you could see that there were 3 or 4 goals at least in the game, but the keeper made some great saves. I'm really pleased with the second half. We were much more aggressive after the water break. We ended up getting obviously the goal by Bernabei of all people. A lot of people are saying that Bernabei isn't Celtic class and he's not going to make it, but he cropped up with a goal today. So tell me what you think about Bernabei. Is Brendan Rodgers the type of manager that will is Bernabei the type of player that will glow under Brendan Rodgers? There seems to be the stark reality and differences between both management styles, and Brendan is known for bringing on players and making them better. You know, quite easily turning a £5 million player into a 10 or 15. Turning Kieran Tierney into an academy boy into a £25 million player. You know, so he does have that in him, but, you know, there's taking nothing away from Ange. He did what he did in the last 2 seasons, which was absolutely fantastic for us. Anyway, back to the current manager. He says, overall, I am really pleased with the second half. He says the players that came on did their thing. I said to them at the beginning of the season, you could never underestimate what heart gives us as an individual player. You need to have heart in the team. And I'm not talking about the goalkeeper either. That's something that I can't give them. He, as a manager, can't give them heart. Well, he can. He could stick them in the... Forget it. Anyway, it says that if the players have the heart inside them, they'll have the belief inside them, they can then go on and achieve amazing things. At times, there was ball coming into the box today. Liam Scales, Bosun, Lowell. I think Bosun is a player that we need to keep. I think looking forward, he could be it might be out of turn saying this, but he could be a Bobo Baldi for us in a few years' time. We get his strength up, we get his size up a bit more, and he'll be a real handful. And I really do hope that we keep him as a player. I think he did really well this when he came on. I think he's still just a young lad, but I think he is one player that we need to keep, because he could be a big player for us. The manager's obviously going to know that a lot of the players that were there today, they're probably going to get put out on loan, the ones that were in the second half, some of them. So anyway, coming out here, Brendan Rodgers says, with a huge population, but to see so many Celtic supporters was absolutely incredible. And I'm sure you would have seen the pictures after the last game where Celtic had the pop-up shop, and they were going absolutely crazy for Celtic merchandise. So it is all about making money this trip. And there was guys in the pub today saying it's a waste of their time, these trips to America and trips like this. Although it's taken the club to new destinations, and it is all about opening up new markets. We need to start. I mean, there was one guy said, why don't we play European teams? We're going to be playing European teams. The way that the big clubs around the world now are looking at things, and it is all about a worldwide audience. Celtic have that in abundance. We have a worldwide audience already, and it's just about growing that and growing the club and making the club more attractive to more players. And we can get these players in at a low cost, just like the one that's coming in. Well, we actually missed a trick with this. I'm just waiting because I'm going to show you in a minute. With Nawrocki, I think Nawrocki. We could have got him for a lot less than what we're paying for him. But anyway, we'll talk about that for a minute. Brendan Rodgers also went on to says having our work cut out against us against Wolves. Over the last few years, I've obviously played against them in the Premier League in England, and I know how good their squad is with a top-class manager. So the new guy has signed a deal. He's on the verge of completing his move to Celtic. He has passed his medical. The fee is around about €5 million, which is around about £4.3 million. He signed from Legia Warsaw, but he was actually born in Germany and actually played most of his youth. He was actually born in Bremen, and he played for Werder Bremen at a young age. Legia Warsaw bought him for £1.5 million. £1.5 million. It's a fantastic deal for them. They're obviously making a big profit out of it, and Celtic are getting an up-and-coming defender who sits at 6'2". We have been saying that we need a big player, and hopefully this guy is the player to play aside Cameron Carter-Vickers, because we do need somebody with a bit of height that is a bit stable. Where does that leave Stephen Welsh? Where does that leave Liam Scales? I think we all know the answer to that deep inside somewhere. The fact that this guy's coming in at centre-back is testament to the club to doing their work behind closed doors, because let's face it, this isn't a name that's been bandied about over the last couple of weeks or so. So the fact that Celtic are working behind the scenes and they're pulling rabbits out the bag like we thought they would do. Anyway, he's going to cost £4.3 million, 22-year-old, and moving to Celtic instead of Galatasaray is getting basically one over them. It has been said that Josip Juranovic helped convince him to make the move after the two of them spoke over the phone. They obviously played together at Legia Warsaw before, when Juranovic was at Legia before he came to Celtic, and he said it would be a great move for him. So tell me what you think about it in the comments. Tell me what you think about the game today. It was just a pre-season game, and they can be really boring and mind them at times, but the manager has to see these players. You'll see a completely different game next weekend when we play Wolves. The manager will know he will have to put out his top men to up against them, so that he can see the standard that we're at. I think that will definitely happen next weekend. Will there be a triple signing next week? Will we finally get the Korean boys in, and also the big Polish defender who was born in Germany, funnily enough? Anyway, with that being said, have a great day, Celtic fans all around the world.